but that deadly shooting that Rashi was just telling you about in Bryan is coming, in fact, just hours after President Biden issued some executive actions aimed at slowing the rate of gun violence.
The president also calling on Congress to act decisively. Fox 26 political reporter Greg Groogan here now with more on Biden's message.
Yeah, Rashi and John, the president stumping for what he calls common sense restrictions and using his executive power to limit firearms that are both lethal and untraceable.
This is an epidemic, for God's sake, and it has to stop.
President Joe Biden pleading with America to push politics aside when it comes to gun violence.
Every day in this country, 316 people are shot every single day. 106 of them die. Homicide is the leading cause of death of black boys and men ages 15 to 34. The leading cause of death.
Facing a persistent Republican roadblock to gun reform in the Senate, the commander-in-chief issued an initial round of executive orders. One aimed at slowing the proliferation of stabilizing braces, which effectively transform semi-automatic pistols into more lethal short-barreled rifles. And a second, targeting so-called ghost guns, assembled from readily available but untraceable parts.
Anyone from a criminal to a terrorist can buy this kit in as little as 30 minutes, put together a weapon.
Gordon Taylor, longtime owner of Black Gold Guns and Ammo, says the hard truth remains. Firearms will be acquired by criminals regardless of restriction, and Biden's proposed ban on military-style semi-automatic rifles unjustly attacks the tool and not the user.
If I run around today and I hit 10 people with a hammer, does that make it an assault hammer? It assaulted 10 people. Actually, the hammer will never get accused of it. I'll be the one that's accused. But if you go out and shoot people, it's the gun's fault. I don't get it.
But Houston State Representative Ann Johnson, a former prosecutor, says maintaining the status quo does nothing to alleviate the real fears of Texas mothers or lower the rising body count.
When people say there was a mass shooting, when our response is to say, which one? That's not normal. That's not okay. And
in addition to his executive actions, Biden called on Congress to close the so-called gun show loophole with expanded background checks and approve a ban on high-capacity magazines. Beyond the human price, the president says gun violence costs our nation $280 billion each year. In the newsroom, Greg Groogan, Fox 26 News.